India. And it works wonders. So I think you have to learn to fill those gaps. And then what we did was to create an international pool of adjunct and visiting faculty from all over the globe, be it Singapore, be it China, or be it the US. And the whole logic was, look, you love teaching, but you're industry. And so let's excite you by calling you here, and vice versa. We will connect you with the directors of R&D labs in this country, right from Infosys to Wipro to Motorola to IBM to Yahoo to Google. And that really works wonders. So I thought I'll just share that with my distinguished audience over here. Look at the revealing statistics over here. China, one of my close friends, Professor Dinesh Manocha in North Carolina at Chapel Hill, Chapel Hill. He's one of the global gurus in CAD, CAM, and graphics. He's an advisor to the government of China, to the Chinese universities, and he says that every time he goes to China, which is once in 6 months, he sees a new program announced by the government of China. Look at the program. They want 1,000 people from all over the world. They don't care how you get it. They will give them about 65 lakhs per year, 150,000 US dollars in subsidies per year. And I tell you, China has almost succeeded in reaching that number. I think they're still short of the number. But look at their objective. They set an objective and they just go all out, all over the world, including Indians, to get these people. Unfortunately, we are nowhere near to the innovative strategies that China is proposing. My worry is with all the talent we have in the country, and nobody's questioning that. I think we are the best minds, and we are proud of that. Unfortunately, if we delay things for a longer time, we are gone. We will be taken over by Vietnams, by Argentinas, by countries such as Malaysia, which is already showing great promise, other than the BRIC countries, outside the BRIC empire, the BRIC countries. So I think there is a dire need to be conscious of the time is ticking. The chair of our advisory board in research is the head of Microsoft Research. The chair of my industry advisory board is the vice president of Cisco. And they come to the campus and they inculcate the young minds, and the young mind says, fantastic, I don't have to worry about a job, my job is guaranteed. Because I know even the VP, and if I do well, because that's the incentive, I will end up with a top-notch job, be it NIT, be it Cisco, be it IBM. So I think the reason that we are very clear that we want to align with industry, even though we are in a university, is that we need to get the best practices from industry. Every time I teach our students, I tell them, look, don't think that we're going to depend upon the industry. But what we should learn is the best practices, the professionalism of the industry that the Western world has taught us, right? That's why US is where it is today in terms of the university education. So I think the sustaining and creating meaningful partnerships is something that is extremely important and that we have realized that gives us great returns. Third point, I think it's time that the universities here innovate, they adapt, because areas are changing by the day. I'm amazed when young kids ask me, Rajeev, what is network sciences? You teach communication networks, but we've been hearing that there's a course called network sciences in the US. There's a course called security engineering. Pervasive system brain sciences is a course now in the United States. Now, we still have a long way to go before we introduce innovative new current courses, but I think the success of India will lie in quickly adapting by the day. I'm not saying copy the Western model. We have a great model. After all, we are the oldest civilization. But do copy the best practices of the Western model, which also means introduce the most current relevant courses. Because I don't want to be, we don't want to be called citizens of a KPO or a BPO country. There has to be a country of thought leaders, right? So this is the whole point, that we need to really introduce current relevant courses which are actually backed by the industry, not only in India, but worldwide. And as I move on in my last few minutes, the need for focusing on innovation, creativity, and IP is, I don't think there was an earlier time. I think this is a critical time. The need is so dire now that if India doesn't focus on intellectual property, I think we are doomed. Today, youngsters don't even know what a patent is. I think when we tell them, we give a talk about patents or IP, they are so excited. Can we file a patent? And I'm telling them, absolutely you can file a patent. It's just an idea which you have to vet it with the people in industry or with good professors, and that's it. File it in India and file it in USPTO. So I think there's a complete lack of understanding in a relative sense of IP in India in comparison to our Western world or even China. And look at this number here. This is 2004. US, the patent applications were about 180,000, whereas in 2004, India had only 3,630 patent applications. This is 2% of what the US filed in 4. And I don't think the trend is very different in 2011. So I think it's something that really should worry us. But I think worry should translate into action, right? By all of us in the room and by our colleagues. So to summarize, in today's knowledge society, in my view, and in the view of several of our colleagues, IP is going to clearly play a crucial role. In fact, industry is looking at us as a university and saying, folks, you have all the time, you have the bandwidth, you have the freedom, you don't have any strings attached. Why don't you give us IP? We'll partner, give you 50%. There are companies in Bangalore like Intellectual Ventures, headed by the former director of IT Bombay, Professor Mishra, who are going to every institution saying, we will help you file the US patent. Of course, we'll have a revenue sharing model, and that's doing wonders. Right? So I think the time has really come for India to very aggressively take this forward. I've already mentioned the whole thrust on creativity and innovation. And then to summarize, the focus on quality, quantity will follow. I think it is time that we now implement what we mean by quality. For far too long a time, we in this country have been debating quality, but let's act, let's implement what quality is. I mean, IITs have done it, ISC Bangalore has done it, other top institutions have done it. I see no reason why any of us cannot take that path of quality, right? So if you look, and this is what I mentioned in the alarming statistics, that if only 1/4 of our engineers are employable of the denominator, which is 600,000, then there's a very scary story. Something is greatly wrong in the country in terms of education. So you have to create quality consciousness in engineering education. How do you do that? Well, I think I want to enumerate the ways that you can do that, but quick points. You have to have rigorous evaluation of research thesis. You have to have merit-based pay. At the NIIT University, your pay is not guaranteed, by the way. You got to earn, I think, 15 to 20% of the pay you have to earn, which we call as merit-based pay. And a lot of faculty who have joined us from the US ask me, oh, can my salary go down? And the answer is yes. If you don't perform, it's likely to go down by 15%. But this is exactly what happens in the multinationals. Or this is exactly the model of the United States. So why not we follow that? Because that really is what I call incentivization and really getting charged if you've signed up for something, right? Finally, this is my last slide. What we did was, keeping all these aspects in mind, it took years for the leadership of NIT University, including Rajendra Pawar, Vijay Thadani, Professor M.P. Kapoor, my very illustrious and distinguished founding mentor professor at the university and founding vice chancellor. We arrived at the 4 core principles of the NIT University. And what they do is they help us attract the best talent in the world, be it India, be it China, be it US, irrespective. So the industry-linked core principle is that we decided from day one that we'll be aligned very closely to the industry all over the globe, not just in India. India, of course, we are here. So this also implies that the students will spend a lot of time in the industry, wherever in the world, wherever it works out. Research-driven, we know that there's a serious gap of research in this country. We hardly produce papers other than the top universities or institutions. How do you fill that gap? I think the gap can be filled by some of the innovative schemes that I pointed out. So the research-driven became the second core principle. Third became technology-based. Now in today's world, if you are in the knowledge society, and if you don't have very, very high-tech equipment in your campus, whether it's sensor networks, whether it's the latest wireless network, whether it's 3G, then I don't think that university will survive long, because we're changing on a rapid basis. Finally, seamlessness, which really means that we have cut boundaries. We don't want departments. Just like the Western model, which had done wonders, we actually decided we'll have no department, we'll have areas. And we'll encourage every faculty and student to work across areas. They'll choose a large number of electives as they go up in totally diverse areas. Our CS students can take electives in, for example, English, electives in theater, in dance and drama, because that is what seamlessness is all about, learning in today's digital world and learning exponentially, and then trying to get new ideas from people who are in totally different orthogonal areas. So I'm going to stop here, and to conclude, in our view, the institutions of higher learning need to really stretch to hire the best talent and, more importantly, retain that talent. There is no simple mantra. There's no clear answer. But I think India has started waking up. We have people in all walks of life, whether it's industry or university or government, who are now understanding that if we don't innovate, we perish. So let's innovate. And innovation is not just about filing IP. It's about a new process. It's about a new model, right? It's about a new procedure. So let's do that round the clock. We need to leave no stone unturned to ensure high quality in engineering education. The challenges, as we all know, are Herculean. But the only way we can solve this challenge, which is the talent challenge, is through incentives, partnerships, and collaborations. Thank you so much.